여기에, what can I do to ease your pain?
Take me with you.
Hey man, major shout out to Alex Fine for sticking by his woman's side in this hard time where she got to get up there and give her testimony and all that, man. Shout out to this man. That's a good man, Savannah. Point blank, period.
Something I find bewildering about discourse concerning modern dating for non-billionaire, millionaire, yacht-owning, regular guys that pay taxes is that those guys aren't really allowed to have any prerequisites, standards, or requirements. And essentially, those guys should be happy with any woman they get at any age, in any shape or form. And there's just no shortage of people, men and women, ready to tell you exactly what a quote-unquote real man is.
I want y'all to look at how a lot of black men think. This is what this man said. So Cassie, husband, had to sit in the courtroom and listen to how his wife liked and asked to get on.
96-hour freak off?
Talk about looking at your wife different. Can't come back from that. This man, Alex Fine, has stood by her side for a while, and he never wavered. He loves that woman, and he not judging her on the things that she was coerced into doing. He got the masculinity that some of y'all men claim that you have.
When we have a mature conversation about what kind of movies are romantic for men, for guys, that's a much more select conversation than the rom-com conversation because, quite frankly, they pump them out so often. What would be in a romantic movie for a guy? Well, it's going to be a young lady who is waiting for a guy. And that's what happens in what I think is maybe the most romantic movie that I've ever seen for guys in Karate Kid Part 2. The story between Mr. Miyagi and Yukie is that they were dating each other, they were on course to get married, and his fellow student, both being trained by his father, dared him to a fight to the end. And instead of fighting his would-be brother almost to uncertain ending, he decided to leave. But that's not necessarily what makes this movie so romantic. It's when Yukie reveals this secret to him.
Why you never write sooner?
Out of respect.
For husband.
No, I never married.
What makes the relationship between Mr. Miyagi and Yukie not just powerful but romantic from a guy's point of view is that Yukie actually gave up something out of the memory of Mr. Miyagi. She could have married Sato, the businessman on the island that was rich, and she could have lived a very comfortable life. She forsake that out of her love for Mr. Miyagi, which is precisely the opposite of
96-hour freak off?
Man, I feel for Cassie's husband. Yeah, because you don't have the ability to empathize with women because you don't think of them as human beings. So the only way that you can have emotions about what happened to her is by thinking about what it would be like to be her husband, because you can't imagine what it'd be like to be her. That's the skills issue. And it's pretty sad. Like, this woman went through so many horrible things and you feel for her husband.
96-hour freak off?
Y'all want Cassie's husband Alex to be embarrassed so bad. And let me tell you something. It doesn't make sense that what you're trying to process in your brain, because he knows everything that happened already. He helped her go through this already. He helped her actually find the power within herself to even talk about it. The fact that y'all on here like, I don't know how he's dealing with this, how he even gonna love her the same. And the first thing y'all think of is, oh, what's her husband gonna feel? That's because too much of y'all manhood is tied to y'all ego.
96-hour freak off?
I'm glad that Alex Fine has been so publicly supportive of Cassie, and any role he has played in getting Diddy potentially put away for a long time, he should be commended for, but I do have some questions. So Diddy was so intensely jealous of any man who was around Cassie or even expressed a vague interest in her that he would lose his mind.
96-hour freak off?
You know how I know good men exist? Because Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, exists. Because Sierra's husband, Russell Wilson, exists. I know that there's a lot of what we don't want, but I know good men exist.
96-hour freak off?
Cassie's husband, Alex Fine, has also seen the conversations happening online about him sitting there during her testimony, which she just finished after basically a week on the stand in the P. Diddy case, and he released a statement through her lawyer. Alex said, "Over the past 5 days, the world has gotten to witness the strength and bravery of my wife freeing herself of her past. There has been speculation online surrounding how it must feel for me to sit there and listen to my wife's testimony. I have felt so many things sitting there. I have felt tremendous pride and overwhelming love for Cass. I have felt profound anger that she has been subjected to sitting in front of a person who tried to break her."
96-hour freak off?
As crazy as it may seem to us guys who were in our 20s who didn't get the chance to sow our royal oats and watch many of our crushes sow theirs, is that society was going to turn around and tell those young ladies that essentially your sexual dating history, you can just pull a Mr. Miyagi in.
Wax on, wax off.
And if the antidote wasn't to find a guy that would essentially wipe off your dating past, then maybe it's a magical procedure that would allow you to go back to the way things were in the beginning with a magic touch. But the truth of the matter is, as men, we are territorial, and we want to make sure that when we lock down a young lady, that we're not going to have a series of guys come into the room and essentially tell us how they got our wife, who we value, at a discount.
This man told me that my wife gave good. Do you know how bad that hurt me? And it was rumored that my wife was giving a lot of different men. She even had a nickname. They called her
96-hour freak off?
You did not break her spirit nor her smile that lights up every room. You did not break the souls of a mother who gives the best hugs and plays the silliest games with our little girls. You did not break the woman who has made me a better man. Cassie saved Cassie. She alone broke free from abuse, coercion, violence, and threats. She did the work of fighting the demons that only a demon himself could have done to her. All I have done is love her as she has loved me.
96-hour freak off?
It's hard not to notice the readiness that many young ladies have to champion the behavior of a gentleman that is loving Cassie on the backside of her
96-hour freak off?
As a real man. We know from the text messages that for the 10-year period, she didn't necessarily hate all of it. Maybe there were parts where she didn't want to or whatever, and that's going to wash out in court. But for a decade, she enjoyed the benefits of being a partner to a billionaire. And the response from many is to simply say that, well, if I have my escapades, if you will, in my 20s, the guy there in my 30s should be happy when I show up because, hey, I'm me.
I never married.
When we talk about what is romantic to men, although that's a topic that's become almost blasphemous to even consider, you can see in the look of the fabulous actor Pat Morita here that the idea that his love interest waited because she couldn't marry him, the man that she really loved, is the kind of thing that will touch a man to his core. That she felt something so strongly for him that she would save it, especially for him. That's an idea that makes men do crazy things for love. But in the modern environment, we've kind of taken that away, and the replacement for that has essentially been, you should love her on the backside of whatever she went through when she essentially didn't sacrifice any of the things that she wanted to do. A billionaire came onto you, and instead of frolicking with that billionaire for a decade, you said, no, I'm dedicated to the guy that I really love, and maybe we're not rich, but I'm going to enjoy my time with him because that's the guy that I'm down for. Is it realistic? No, we know it's not realistic, and it's just for the movies, especially in today's environment. But when you want to see a guy run through a wall for a woman, that's the kind of woman that he's going to run through a wall for. The kind of woman that has some kind of value left for her husband. A woman that will say, I'll do some things with you, but some stuff I'm saving for my husband. It's not perfect. And in the world we live in now, to expect that is asking for a borderline miracle. Still, it doesn't mean that that's not something that guys want. Just like many young ladies want a guy who's wealthy, tall, high status, etc. A guy wants a woman that's essentially saving something for a special guy And if he earns the ability to be that special guy, is getting something that she didn't give to another guy simply because he has money, he has status, because it felt good. And then on the backside, it's just, well, here I am. I did some stuff in the past, but you should just accept it. And then in this case, he has to listen to what happened with his wife and this billionaire and their 96-hour sessions in public. A nightmare for a man. Not something that any man would see as romantic at all. Something that many modern women should really consider, as if you're not going to even put this on the table, for many men, it's not even worth bothering trying. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.